All right. We're at the tail end of the show, so I feel like I should do an AMA now. Hal, don't pronounce the S in Ghislaine. I know they do Ghislaine or whatever. I often pronounce it that way to suppress wanting to call her Ghislaine because of her job. Um, so um, I mean, I honestly, most of the time, I would rather, I refer to her in not so pleasant company as Jizz Boulevard. So, fuck her. I don't care about, honestly, I guzzle Lane. I don't, um, I am aware in certain instances where of the importance of pronunciation, but the selective way that people use it is one of the things as being a Libra that annoys me. And when it comes to people like Sean Combs, for example, I'm not going to call him Diddy or Puffy or P anything. His name is Sean Combs, and we should have his. Hold on. Yeah, Sean John Combs. That's his name. Sean John Combs. It's not Diddy or Puffy or P any fucking thing. His name is Sean John Combs. So I don't want to hear it. And when it comes to if it mattered, if there was a Ghislaine in Congress, even somebody I disagreed with, who was just kind of your average run of the mill person, I would probably make an effort to pronounce it correctly. But yeah, Ghislaine sack smell will do just fine. That's right. Sean shit Combs, right? Sean on the John Combs. Dems have an official letter from Bondi to Kash Patel acknowledging she received 200 pages of Epstein contacts, flight logs, and victims' names and phone numbers. Excellent. Hold on one second. We'll grab onto that. Mm-hmm. Let's see. I'm trying to find the actual. I know they're asking for this. The letter calls for this AG in chief to admit rift between Trump supporters over files in North section. Letter from 19 Democratic members on the committee to its Republican chair, Jim Jordan, comes amid a rift between Trump and da-da-da. Okay, the U.S. president known Epstein personally, right? In the letter, Democrats argue that the matter can only be settled if Bondi and her deputy, Todd Blanche, who was Trump's attorney, along with Patel and his deputy, Dan Bongino, appear before the Judiciary Committee. The Trump DOJ and FBI's handling of Jeffrey Epstein matter, sudden shifting positions, da-da-da-da. I don't see the actual article coming up. I don't know if that's a thing. If you want to pass it on to Andrea or whatever. I've been speaking to Coca-Cola about using real cane sugar and Coke in the United States, and they have agreed to do so. I'd like to thank all of those in authority at Coca-Cola. This will be a very good move by them. You'll see it's just better. Um, this is, and this is Gavin Newsom's response to that tweet. Oh, thank God, I've totally forgotten about the Epstein files now. I mean, it is such a layup. How do you know the mysterious... let's see. Do you know the mysterious death of Ghislaine Jizz Boulevard's father, Robert Maxwell? I know the kind of broad steps, but the... Hold on, let me see if I can bring it up. Da, 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 da. Yeah. Yeah, so the idea was that he died. I know he had a heart attack while he was swimming or something. Hold on. Strange and tragic death. This is the. Yeah. Robert Maxwell's strange and tragic death may have set his daughter Ghislaine on a path to Jeffrey Epstein. Sailing on board a 50-meter yacht named after his favorite daughter As it cruised the Atlantic, Robert Maxwell had all the appearance of a man of good fortune. He was the domineering patriarch of a large family with a vast Italianate mansion overlooking the Oxford, famous friends, and a helicopter that could take him to London on a moment's notice. However, after waking from a fitful sleep on a cool November day in 91, Maxwell was alone and apparently too close to the edge of the boat. Back home, the empire he spent decades building was speedily unraveling, crippled by a mountain of debt the mogul was unable to pay. With the scandal only days away from being made public, the billionaire had flown to Gibraltar for a few days' rest aboard his yacht. He spent his holiday dining out. It seemed like a perfect break until staff went to rouse him from his bed and found his room empty. The official ruling on the inquest found he died by a heart attack combined with accidental drowning. Others suspect he jumped, a desperate final act to avoid the trouble that he was waiting for upon his return home. And then there's another conspiracy that, while others ruled out absurd, persists to this day. Maxwell was pushed. Those on board the Lady Ghislaine claimed they never saw Maxwell tumble off the boat. According to the police report, the last time the media mogul was seen alive was at 4:25 a.m. It's a weird time to be seen alive. Can I just say for the record, unless somebody was in bed with you, I guess, 4:25, and you got up from bed at 4:25 and then you looked at the clock. By late afternoon, his body was found naked and floating offshore by the Spanish Coast Guard. So he was walking naked on the boat, and he fell off the boat and had a heart attack. Is the theory? Is the excuse? I don't know what are we going to talk about. His mysterious death set off a chain of events that culminated in the collapse of his newspaper empire, the bankruptcy of his children, and a wave of conspiracy theories that persist to this day. The poor Czech boy with a big dream. He was a big Czech boy. Here he is on radio in 1954, welcoming the boys home from overseas. Sketchy rich dude gets in over his head. It's always a great opportunity for people who want to get rid of him to dust him off, because you can make it look like a suicide if they're in a rough patch. Yeah. Was Robert Wagner on board? Yeah. And Christopher Walken. Coke says nah. Right. They didn't do that? Right. I wouldn't doubt it. Is cocaine, it was in Coke, they substituted it with caffeine? Yes. And it sort of, yeah. No series of Maxwell father was a criminal. Yes, absolutely. Well, and the idea was that he was also a Mossad agent or a Mossad asset. Now, here's the problem with the whole agent versus asset thing, is that there's a huge difference. We learned this with the Jan Sixers, because all the talk about the Jan Sixers, they want to make it look like the people that were there that turned on other maggots and called the cops on people who attacked police officers and went, yeah, I was there with this guy Jerry and he lost his fucking shit and he's dangerous and he should go to jail. That person isn't just an informant who is an asset in this situation, but was working as an agent of the FBI the whole time, right? This is the language that Trump and all of his supporters use about this. That's why, and by the way, there are none. Never mind the Epstein files for a second. Has there been anybody that has been arrested for being, on Jan 6, some sort of maggot whisperer that made them attack? Has anybody lost their job for being an FBI agent in the crowd on Jan 6? For real. Not a fucking one. TikTok, motherfucker. Because apparently they're still in their job, right? What amazing shenanigans could they possibly get? You obviously know if they were there, you would know, because they had contacted, they had phoned in what they were doing. They were, and if they weren't, they were somebody who left their post and went rogue and attacked the Capitol. So obviously they shouldn't have a job either. Yes. Did you notice that though? And it was still Trump's FBI. Well, to some degree, but none of your rank and file FBI are going to be engaged in this kind of shit. But the point is that these guys were saying, these guys were FBI agents. There were FBI agents in the crowd, when in reality there were assets, because people who were there and enjoying it to some degree thought it went too far and freaked out. And went, oh my God, my buddy's beating a cop with a fucking sharpened flagpole. Holy shit. And that person is now an asset because they called the cops. They called the FBI on whoever they were with. Angela says, Trump allegedly asked Zelensky if he could hit Moscow with the weapons Zelensky has. Don't you think Trump would throw him under the bus if Zelensky hit Moscow, even though it might be accomplished what Trump secretly wants because he's miffed at Putin? Okay, so yes, he asked him if they could do that with the stuff that they have. They absolutely can. Trump doesn't know how the anti-aircraft missile systems, the Patriot batteries, works, and doesn't know that if they could be used defensively and offensively. So he was, instead of asking his own people, he was asking Zelensky, or if Zelensky thought he could, maybe he was 5D chess. Maybe he was, Francie Phillip is good. He just needs some sleep, but he was on the show with us this morning. I think he just asked him because it just occurred to him because he's fucking stupid. But I think he was worried, maybe he was saying, hey, trying to get all right, this is my honest thought about it. If Trump asked Zelensky about whether he could hit Moscow, it was really him gauging in his own mind whether he thought that would actually happen. And so he could call Putin and go, I think they're going to hit you. Or he said, yes, they're going to hit you. Or they can hit you now. You better move or whatever. The batteries come with the Patriots, though, thankfully, yes. 5D chess, what the rest of us call hopscotch. Yeah. Oh, you can't hit Moscow? Excuse me, I need to go. Call somebody about something else totally unrelated. Exactly. That's the point. Right. They already hit Moscow with drones. Yes, they've hit several sites, but they were from within the country, not from Ukraine, largely. Like the drones that struck places there were released by, Ukrainian and Russian resistance groups. How you get your shirts fit so well? I don't know that they do, but thank you, I guess. Sharks. What about the Sharks? 4K checkers, right? 8K checkers. You can see it well. It doesn't mean you play better. Houseworks meant to also say thank you and thank you. I think that if I'm reading that right. I fear if you take too much Viagra, you won't be leaving the house anytime soon. Well, at least for 4 hours before you have to go to the hospital. Fuck that. Fuck that. Attack Moscow every time they attack Kyiv. I agree. I mean, at some point, the question is if they hit the Kremlin, does that launch a nuclear strike automatically? Which is probably some leftover fear that they have from the Cold War, which may be a real thing. You know what I mean? There may be fail safes. Balfourium G, right? I don't know if the kidney could. What the hell is going on? Help! What is it doing? What? Where'd my camera go? Help! Help! What's going? It's got new powers. Help us! What has it learned to do while I was gone? What the hell?
The kidney has a very special place in the heart.
I guess so. That stung a little. I don't know what happened to me. I felt like I was transported. Yeah, I don't know where Matt the Rat is. He's dug in somewhere. Later, it was a kidney bomb. Ouch. Do you wear white socks with sandals? No, I don't wear sandals. barefoot or shoes. Hal, you need a phantom zone? I kind of do. How's your dad doing? He's good. Thank you for asking, Coretta. He's good. It's AI for you, right? Why did Trump need to sign a fentanyl elimination EO if coming across the border with... Yeah, I agree. I don't know. I don't know why they weren't able to get rid of the fentanyl. That's the point. That's the thing I've been pointing out, is that they stopped all the traffic, brought it to zero at the border, right? And still fentanyl is just as cheap and widely available as it was before that. Huh. And it ain't just stockpiles. Taste Paul showed a bulge in Trump's pants. It was truly horrifying. Oh, the catheter? Or has he got something else now? Because, I mean, I wouldn't rule it out. Hold on one second. All right. There we go. What do you have against sandals? I'll wear flip-flops on a beach, but I'm not wearing sandals out in public. What if shit happens? We don't live in biblical times. Yeah. Have you seen Trump's elephant ankles? Oh yeah, see if I can show you a picture of that. Hold on. Trump, yeah, ew. So they've got, this is the thing that 4K has given us, and I apologize ahead of time. Oof. That's his hand. They got makeup on it to cover the bruise, obviously. This might be the insertion point where they're giving him a line. And then his cankles, which are really swollen, the seeping over the outsides of his shoes. Whoops, hold on, let me slide this up. Yeah. Not good. Not a good ad for Diet Coke either, which he has right here. Which again, I mean, I guess you must feel really secure if you just put your drink down. Leader of the free world, just gonna do that. That's great. Yeah. Yep. Ugh. Yeah, that's the yeah. This is the picture it's from. And this, I mean, I've never seen more loving body language. Why does it always look like she just found out about another affair? And his response was, "You signed the prenup. I can do whatever I want." What do you think is going to happen in the midterms? Oh, I think it's going to be a trouncing on the Republicans. And I think they know it. That's why they're trying to steal seats in Texas to add 5 seats to cover. Because they know it's going to be a wipeout. Ugh. It's the edema in ankles and hands, head, lips, and neck very pale, untanned sections, heart not pumping well, poor blood perfusion and oxygenation, looks like congestive heart failure. This is people putting up pictures of like the difference in color, in his real color. There's, the hand thing, this weird lumpy section of skin popping out. That's skin right there. Bruh. I told you, that's why they're rushing this stuff. That's why they're having him hold up these things that he signed. Yeah. Meanwhile, here's Obama's ankles. Here's Obama's ankles. This is Biden's ankles. They look pretty fucking normal. And he's having ice cream, too. He can eat his dairy. Trump, meanwhile. And, oh, God, I apologize. Hold on. Where's this? We got the... yeah, in here. Why's the nut not coming up? It's why did my nut thing? My nut graphic didn't load. That's so sad. I apologize. Consider this a verbal nut warning. Other question. Do you think Trump will last the full term? If not, how it'll be? Will it be Epstein or his health? It'll be his health, for sure. And I do not. I know a lot of people fear JD Vance. I don't buy it. He is not the kind of guy who, like wants people to, like he just doesn't move MAGA. He just doesn't inspire them the same way. Nobody does, which is good. That's the problem with this kind of an organization. This is why Putin's going to have a hard time finding a successor. That's why, when guys like that go, the regime collapses. In our case, it won't, because we have another political party which has, equal weight in the country and can pick up where that left off. But yeah, Vance is just a weakling. There is no way, he's able to, garner the same, build a similar movement behind himself. It just won't happen. Somebody's asking about the COVID deaths. Question, hi, thanks. Well, good source for your statements that China had more COVID deaths than generally acknowledged. Cheers. There's a bunch. The most comprehensive breakdown I've seen was from Lay's Real Talk. Because she grabbed the Russian study and the Japanese study on how much salt they use and their electricity usage. My experience was, again, that 20 to 25 million cell phones went dead in less than a year, and people use their phones to pay for everything, so their accounts went with them. This is not, you lose your number, it's like losing your social security number. There, it's very different. How do you know Jesse James Keitel? No, I don't think so. You had those ankles when you were pregnant? I don't think Trump is pregnant. I certainly hope not. Do you think we will have a majority in the House before 2026? I think that would take a lot. It'll be hard. Nothing would surprise me, though. And I think the way Trump is turning on maggots, there might be some dropouts. And there are a couple people that if they decided to step down or move aside that are on the fringe or in the purple zones, they could absolutely make a difference because a Democrat could come in. Or a Republican that's looking beyond Trump, that's looking at maybe if it was a special election, they'd have to get reelected before he leaves office. That'd be tough. All those picks are great appetite suppressors. Oh, I totally know. He was on Queer as Folk, you think? I don't know that I had a scene with him, though. Let's see. It was a big cast. Oh, yeah. Beg your pardon. She, yes. Okay, I'm thinking of a totally different person. Let's see. That might have been... No. Okay. Jesse James Keitel was the trans woman who was on the reboot of Queer as Folk, the Peacock version. Yeah, not our show. I was on the OG Queer as Folk. For some reason, when you said Jesse James, I was thinking of whatever, like Dita Von Teese's ex. What do you think about Epstein's suicide note? I think it's... suicide note's too easy to fake. So I wouldn't have an opinion on it, whether it was real or not, because I wouldn't be able to tell the difference. She's in the new Star Trek. That's cool. You ought to be in pictures, kid. Yeah. Do you know how much a woodchuck could chuck, if a woodchuck could chuck wood? No, but similarly, how much would you... I'd say 3 chords. 3 chords. I'm going to go with 3 chords. Yeah. Do you think Musk will give money to Dems? Yes, I do. I do think he'll feed it in. I think he'll start donating, and it'll cause a lot of consternation. But I think what people will have to do is go, if this idiot is okay for, with spending this money, we're going to spend it to do what we want. And he isn't necessarily going to like it. Also, it'd be a way that he would rehab his own image, which I think is a lot 2.5. Did you see Superman? I have not seen it yet. But Summer and Ethan saw it, and we're gonna go. Cam and I are gonna go see it this week. I think. 3 chords in the truth. That's right. The ankle problem is from fluid overload. His kidneys are not moving fluid, and his heart is slowing down. Yeah, he's a fucking mess, and he doesn't sleep, and he flies all over the fucking place. So being in a plane a lot. This is one of the other things they don't tell you, because as somebody who's flown a lot in my life, and I'm sure pilots and especially like flight attendants will tell you this, that going up and down in an aircraft and changing pressurization, that much can be rough on you. That's why you need rest in between and that kind of stuff. And a lot of these rich dudes who have their own plane tend to use them a lot. They tend to, go on long flights and, just to be impressive, or go because I got this plane, I'm paying for it. Might as well fly to the other side of the country and back in a day, right? And he was always doing that. Now that he's president, he's got to do it for events and all these things. It's going to add to the possibility of deep vein thrombosis on top of this, right? And there's stress, which he did not feel the first time because the dude is a fucking sociopath, so he does not care. I think the major is on right now, so I'm going to pitch to him, and I appreciate you guys, and thank you guys for sticking around for the AMA. I will continue to add these to the ends of shows as well. His body is an inconvenience. It's so spiritual of you. Some heart medicine can make your ankle swell, right? But he's not on any, so there you go. Love your rooftop cover of Kiss. Oh, thank you. Going blind, thank you. And Boston Brian is on. All right, well, you guys will have to pick. That's Sophie's choice. You guys are going to have to make that up. But I'm going to talk to you guys later. The nice thing is you don't have to watch us live. You can watch us later. And if you're watching me later, hi. Use the super thanks or use the Venmo thing to support the show. Buy me a cup of coffee and keep the show on the air. That'd be lovely. That'd be a good thing, wouldn't it? I mean, it might be. I was just throwing that out there. If it's a possibility, it's something perhaps.